anatomical position, body parts region, directional terms, and abdomen subdivision. This is my model. He is an anatomical position, standing erect with the face in front and the palm in front. This is the midline. This is the medial, close to the midline, and this is the lateral, away from the midline. And this is the superior or the cephalic, and this is the inferior or the caudal. And next is the proximal and distal. Proximal is close to the point of attachment, and distal is away from the close attachment. Example, this is the antecubital. Arm is proximal to antecubital because he is near from the antecubital. Next, this is the palm, distal from antecubital because it's far away. My model is facing his side, and this is the anterior or the ventral, and this is the posterior or the dorsal. When we say supination, the client or the patient is lying on his back, and when we say pronation, the client is lying on his front. We come now to the body parts and region. The body parts region is the upper limb, lower limb, and central region. In central region, there is head, neck, and trunk. And the upper limbs is upper arm to the hand, and the lower limb is to thigh to the foot. And for the head, this is the frontal or the forehead. This is the eye or the orbital, and this is the nose or the nasal, and this is the mouth or the oral. And to the trunk, thoracic or thorax, this is the chest or the pectoral, and this is the breast or the mammary, and this is the breastbone or the sternal. And to the abdomen, this is abdominal, and this is the navel or the umbilical. And for the pelvis, this is the pelvic or the pelvis, and this is the inguinal, the part of the inguinal or the groin, and this is the public or the genital. And for the upper limb, this is the ear or the otic, this is the cheek or the buccal, this is the chin or the mental. And the collarbone or the clavicular, armpit or the axillary, and the arm or the brachial. And this is the antecubital or the front of elbow, and this is the forearm or the antebrachial. And this is the wrist or the carpal. This is the palm or the palmar, and this is the finger or the digital. For the lower limb, this is the hip or causal, and this is the thigh or the femoral, and this is the kneecap or the patellar, and this is the leg or the crural. And for the ankle, this is the ankle or the talus, and this is the dorsum or top of the foot, and this is the digital or the toes. For the posterior view or the dorsal, this is the occipital or the base of the skull, and this is the nuchal or the back of the neck. And this is the skull or the cranial. We have come now to the posterior part of the body. This is the trunk, scapula or the shoulder blade, and this is the vertebral or spinal cord, shoulder blade, the point shoulder blade, and lumbar or the loin, and the sacral or the between hips, this, and gluteal, buttock, and cranial, the perineum or the perineum, this. And to the upper limbs is the point of the shoulder or the acromial, and olecranon or the point of the elbow, and dorsum or the point of the or the back of the hand, and the popliteal or the hollow behind the knee, and the sural and the calcaneal and plantar or the soil. To the last part is the quadrant. It's called quadrant because it's divided into four. The first is the right upper quadrant, left upper quadrant, and the right lower quadrant, and the left lower quadrant. And to the 9 regions of the abdomen is the epigastric region in the part of it, and umbilical region and hypogastric region. And the part of this side is the right hypochondriac region, left hypochondriac region, and right lumbar, left lumbar, and right iliac and left iliac. And that's